Probably because of the lighting. Try and get it on a bright white one here. My kid's sleeping in sick, so I'm trying to get it on a bright. I don't know why I can't get it on a purely white fucking thing. Shh. All right, guys, welcome in. I don't know how long today's stream is going to be. I didn't expect to have sick myself being sick and then my kids being sick. So my oldest, came home from school. So, but topics today. Candace Owens addresses gag order on Twitter. Apparently, they're really trying hard to stop her. She got a gag order served on her. Um, Venezuelan regime change. That's crazy. Mr. No New Wars is trying to provoke another one. They've been trying to do it for 10 years. And I just think it's something we don't have to get into. Shouldn't have to get into. It's ridiculous. And Charlie Woods, bro, you know I can't play that on YouTube, so quit tripping, bro. I hope everybody's having a good day. God, I wish I could get this to be just white on here like it had it when it first started here. Gosh darn it. That's probably going to be the closest thing I can do to get the lighting better on myself. Welcome in, Reginald. I'm just kind of letting people get in here quick. How's everybody's day going? Happy Monday. But so yeah, we'll go over the tweet quick. So here's the tweet. Candace Owens said, "Don't worry about the gag order in the Charlie's case. I plan to violate it in the world's behalf. The things I've discovered in the past week are enough to burn the house down. Yes, Charlie was betrayed by everyone. If you haven't already, go follow my Twitter. This is my Twitter right here. 0_KNIA Kanya _0. But yeah, so apparently in the past week she got a gag order. Um well, apparently she's talking too much, right? So I wonder what she discovered in the past week. Does to everybody. But okay, thank you. Um she must have discovered something new in the past week when she went on her little vacation. No one really knows where she's been at, what she's been doing. But it's kind of crazy she got a gag order. I mean, that just says a lot. Says a lot to the fact that she's probably speaking a lot of truth. She hasn't really even. She hasn't even really tweeted much since she went out. Um, Last tweet she had was 14 hours ago. I seen it last night. Um, Really curious to see. I mean, her first stream back is going to do exponential numbers. Um, I wouldn't be surprised if when she came back, she just let it all out, let it go, and just completely did what she said she's going to do, burn the house down, man. Charlie was betrayed by everyone. Kind of makes you wonder what she's talking about. But October 18th, you're not fighting conservatives, you're fighting neocons. In truth, they are neither left nor right. Needless to say, I'm Team Matt always. Matt Walsh said, I said I wanted unity on the right, and and some conservatives have responded by relentlessly attacking me for like 4 days straight. Some of them have been posting about it dozens of times every day. I've made the exact same call to unity many times in the past without anything close to this kind of blowback. Very strange. But anyway, I stand by everything I've said and I take none of it back. Have a great weekend, everybody. Shout out Matt Walsh. Other than that, she hasn't really posted much. She reposted on the 16th. Um, Palestinians are emerging from Israel's torture dungeons with missing limbs, one blinded, and some harrowing testimonies of grape at the hands of Israeli torturers. Greta Thunberg has detailed se- sexual humiliation and beating she suffered after being kidnapped in international. Sorry, I can't read today. Waters, a U.S. journalist also kidnapped from the flotilla, Noah Avishag Schnall, emerged from an Israeli jail with bruises on her face, telling how she was hung from the ceiling with metal shackles. Yet these accounts will not be featured on the front page of the New York Times as the comprehensive debunked, as the comprehensively, goddamn, debunked, still unretracted October 7th sexual abuse hoax article screams without the words was and everyone knows why. They hate white people and they routinely threaten black people who refuse to behave in the way that they demand contracts and lawfare. We are all tired of it. So we gotta get the gist here. Um yeah, so I'm a bot. Yeah, I guess I'm a bot, right? I'm a bot. Yeah, we're over here praising Israel for getting 7 hostages back or whatever, like, or 12, whatever it was. Yay, I'm glad they got back. I'm glad they didn't get hurt. But who's praising the fact that Israel released what, thousands of hostages, right? The death toll in Palestine's going up. More people being pulled from the rubble. Rolf family, I think you're a bot. You're probably a bot from Israel. I mean, it's just crazy. What you guys say. Uh it, Greta Thunberg literally made a video. Like, bro, you guys are just dumb. Like YouTube, I cannot wait till I can kind of just get off YouTube for these kind of topics and like talk on free speech platforms where there's higher IQ people. But for now, it is what it is, right? Yeah, I just think Candace's stream is going to be pretty. Is going to be pretty damning, right? Hold on, sorry guys. I wanted to go over these for this video with Ian Carroll, going over the TPUSA donor. Sorry guys, I have a major migraine. But yeah, Candace is not a token. See, all these people on here that come on here that say that just don't know anything. But make sure you guys double tap that screen, show some love and support, guys. If you support your boy, make sure you guys hit the subscribe button, double tap that screen. Not live on Kick today or Rumble, but you can go to my last streams and you can get my links there if you want to follow me there and support your boy there. We're trying to get both accounts to over 100 followers right off rip. Um, But yeah, so we're gonna get into Ian Carroll breaking down TPUSA donors, and then I wanted to get into the Venezuelan regime change as well. So kind of see how long I can be on today. Like I said, I got sick kids, things of that nature. So kind of we'll be back and forth in between the camera and checking on my kids. But yeah, man, says a lot that there's a gag order put on Candace Owens, right? So if Candace Owens is just a moron and not saying anything that's true, why are they putting a gag order on her instead of like a defamation lawsuit or other things like that? And why are they not refuting things? Why are they instead trying to take it and actually change it to, you know? Yeah, well, now you just gotta go, brother. Uh, welcome to the abyss. But yeah, let's go over this quick. Man, people like that, like they come on here and they say I'm low IQ. They say all this stuff about me, but yet look at how they talk. Like typical people like that just cannot have a conversation. Bro, I can't have people call me a PDF file in the freaking chat. Otherwise, I would have. But it's like you can't. I can't be letting that happen. Not only that, but that just shows how low IQ he is. I mean, these people are just low IQ people who want to get on chat, talk hella shit, don't have facts, don't read articles. And I'm about to show you some articles right here that Ian Carroll pulled up. So, and maybe we'll go over the video yesterday as well that we were watching with him. That was an interesting video. Dan Badger, welcome in. Just passing through, wishing you a great day. I hope everyone you meet today is genuine and loving towards you. Thank you very much, Dan Badger. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button before you leave. Much love to everybody who is in here and shows love. Much appreciated. God bless you guys. Jesus is King. Say it in the chat. You take care as well, man. God bless you. But all right, let's start this here.
Laura Loomer. That's weird. You know, Laura, I don't know how much money you're getting from billionaires, but I know that I'm not getting a single dime.
Conspiracy theories are
All right, I love Ian
Information
Carroll.
is the oxygen of a democracy.
Ian Carroll does very good work, very good deep dives, very good informational videos.
It's so sick that we can't talk about it.
Laura Loomer literally is a fucking insane person. Okay, thank you for everything. Okay, okay, thank you. But yeah, Laura Loomer's insane. Like the one thing I love about Ian is that he'll say, "Well, I like looking at these articles," but he always my favorite thing about it is that he just loves sources. He always says if you don't have the sources, if you don't have at least 3 or 4 credible sources or 2 or 3 credible sources, you can't trust it. You know, that's one thing I like about him. I think he's a very good person when it comes to getting information to the masses. That's right. That's right, Reginald. That's right. Make sure you guys double tap the screen, hit the subscribe button. Let's try and get 25 likes. We just need 21 more beautiful people to double tap the screen and show some love and support.
Our security is at stake.
Oh, and I usually say how much subs we're at. So we're at 7,288 subs, man. Let's run it up. The weekly recap, 170, 197.4K views in the past week. I've passed 5 million views, 585 likes, 23 shares, 7 comments, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, so we've been running it up the past week, man. So we're at 5.1 million views now. So appreciate everybody, man. Double tap that screen, show some love and support, man. God bless, God bless. Oh my God, don't even get me started, Rabbi Shmuley, man. The fact that he's even connected with Michael Jackson and him saying that he had a bad part of, you know, shit that was going on with Michael Jackson is a big thing too. I'm gonna check on my baby girl real quick. I'll be right
Just
back.
so you know what we're looking at here, sake of transparency, this box and this box, what you're seeing on screen here, This is all AI summaries. Okay. So do not treat what's in this box as absolute fact. This does include links to sources, which is what I will show you over here. You should not trust AI to tell you the truth. You should have AI help you find sources if you're going to use it, and then read those sources for yourself. Do your own research within it, make up your own mind, and use AI as a tool to help you clarify your understanding based on actual sources. But we're going to refer to these lists just for the organizational structure of which donors gave how much money. And then we're going to refer to the sources to get to know them just a little bit. Okay. So,
See, this is why I like Ian Carroll right here. Perfect example of what he does. Has his stuff pulled up, all the facts, has sources sorted or stated, everything like that. That's why I fuck with him, bro. Like, and he's so good at getting your attention and pulling you in. Yeah. And too bad my AI deep dive I did about the fact that we have to be worried that AI in the future could blackmail us or potentially unalive us or lie to us, especially in the medical field. I might have to make a different video and upload again, but I do have a chart of the AIs that are likely to blackmail and potentially unalive people, done by a very reputable source. And you can watch a YouTube video on it. Maybe we'll watch it, but pretty sure that's why I got freaking tagged last time. So we won't do that part today.
are the top 10 TPUSA donors, as best as we can tell initially. First off, the number 1 and number 2 slots on the list are basically all anonymous donor advised funds, which is common.
Well, see, what I thought I seen Gina was the fact that Candace said she was taking a week break. I thought she said a week. Or maybe she said she doesn't know how long she's going to be gone. I don't know. All I do know is I hope she's doing good. I hope she's safe. I hope that everything's going all right. And maybe, she's taking different security measures, changing location of podcast. I wouldn't be surprised if she came on another podcast and was like, yo, like, changing location. We're at a new undisclosed location. This, that, and the third, because her life,
It's where
they're sending gag orders. They're threatening her. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
rich people have these things set up, these organizations that are basically pass-through organizations for money. So they donate to the organization, and then the organization essentially is a black box that then donates that money to causes. And so we don't actually know who all that money is coming from, and a whole bunch of the money that TPUSA was receiving, the biggest chunk of the donations was coming through these anonymous donor advised funds. And the Bradley Impact Fund, as best as I can understand, is just another anonymous donor advised fund, basically, more or less, that really fits into the same category as number 2 here. So, number 3, Bernie Marcus. The Marcus Foundation.
Oh, yeah, my friend.
$4.6 million plus donated from 2015 to 2024.
I wish you lived around me, Reginald, because I got some. I got a tincture I have where you put drops in your mouth, bro. So strong, it's ridiculous, but it's lit.
With extensive links to Israel. This is
It is very
Bernie
hard.
Marcus. He has passed away in 2024.
But guys, let's get 20 more likes, man. We got almost 100 people in here. Double tap that screen. It takes you 2 seconds to double tap the screen. Hit subscribe. We're at 7,288 subs. Let's try and hit 73. Let's try and hit 7,300 today. Double tap that screen. Show some love and support, you guys.
Has donated to all sorts of things like the Blood Center in Israel. Between 2002 to 2012, according to Powerbase, which is they track charitable donations and charitable organizations and such, nonprofits, etc. From 2002 to 2012, the foundation donated $3 million plus to the Friends of the Israeli Defense Forces. Marx is also the founder of the Israel Democracy Institute. His profile on the homepage describes the IDI as their focus as being Jewish causes, children, medical research, free enterprise, and the community. In the final political donation recorded publicly before his death, according to the Times of Israel, made in July, Marcus gave $1 million to the United Democracy Project, a campaign fundraising group affiliated with the pro-Israel lobby AIPAC, which Marcus has supported since its...
By the way, you guys see that everybody's saying that they're not going to vote for a politician that takes a dime from AIPAC, and I agree with that. Even one politician, I can't remember his name, so help me out in the chat if you remember. I can't remember the politician, but he said he's giving all the donations that he got from AIPAC back. I mean, AIPAC should be registered under FARA. AIPAC shouldn't even be a thing, in my opinion. To me, we shouldn't have any sort of foreign lobbyists in our country whatsoever. Shouldn't have any sort of foreign interests in our country trying to push politicians. So I'm a cat. Thank you so much, brother. God bless. Welcome to the family. Seth Moulton said he's gonna be giving back all of his AIPAC donations. So shout out him. We should start seeing a whole bunch more people do that because it's ridiculous how much people get money from them, and they all have advisors. They all say the same things. They all have the same handbook. And again, we just should not have foreign lobbyists in our country. If we're America first, it's American interest first. That's it. And I'm sick and tired of it. But I figured I'd just say that I think that's interesting. Hopefully it kills AIPAC. There's a lot of people calling for AIPAC to be taken, down.
creation in 2022. The Marcus Foundation makes legacy $60 million investment in Route 1 to revamp how American Jews tackle the crisis of anti-Semitism. With this investment, the Marcus Foundation has given a total of $140 million in grants to Route 1 since its founding in 2020. In partnership with dozens of youth-serving organizations, camps, and communities, Route 1 has made it possible for tens of thousands of teens to experience meaningful, fun, and safe travel to Israel. This is according to prnewswire.com. So, let's be clear. This is a fine line. It's complicated. American Jewish people are welcome to donate to whatever they want to donate to. It's their right. They are welcome within the bounds of the law to use their money how they want to use their money. Freedom of speech, right? But it's a little hypocritical when we see over and over again, as we are about to, that these Jewish billionaires, not like the average regular Jewish people. Average regular Jewish people are a whole other thing. They're just regular people for the most part, right? And some of them are pro-Israel and some of them are anti-Israel. That's a whole different thing. Jewish billionaires, the kinds of people that become billionaires, usually not the greatest of people. Jewish billionaires over and over and over again will be Americans that dedicate their entire lives to donating money to a foreign government, to supporting a foreign government, to supporting a foreign military, to even serving in a foreign military, to supporting all this shit for Israel. But not a whole lot over here, unless it's Turning Point USA and other organizations that will actually turn America to supporting Israel. Again, for Israel, right? So, that's Bernie Marcus. Briefly, quickly. The Dunn Foundation, William Dunn. Extremely limited public information available. Foundation formerly named Dunn's Foundation for the Advancement of Right Thinking. No Israeli organizational connections found in available records, according to Claude. William Dunn is extremely secretive about his money. Mm-hmm. He's extremely secretive about his life. And as far as I can tell, as far as Claude could tell, not Jewish, not Israeli, without a whole lot of documented ties to Israel. And that's true. I mean, not every donor at TPUSA was Jewish, and not every donor was pro-Israel in that way. Ed Uehlein Family Foundation might sound Jewish. It's not. It's a German name, actually. They are very right-wing. There's all this controversial stuff about them, like saying that the 2020 election was stolen and stuff like that. But not a lot of Jewish or Israeli connections there. Stephen Feinberg, number 6, the Tracking Foundation, total $1.2 million, 2017 to 2019. Don't treat these numbers as being definitive. Don't treat them as the truth, as the full maximum. This is just at least what Claude was able to dig up, and there's probably more, but it's hard to say. But big donor, Steven Feinberg, and the Tracking Foundation. Steven Feinberg is a whole can of worms. Okay? He comes from Drexel Burnham Lambert. If you don't know about Drexel Burnham Lambert, they are a very famous corrupt financial institution from the 80s that did a lot of fucked up shit and birthed a lot of the modern corrupt financial system that we live in today. For example, Leon Black, who founded Apollo Global Management, who's very good friends with Jeffrey Epstein, he was a scion of Drexel Burnham Lambert and Michael Milken. And many of the people, the higher level executives at Burnham Lambert, went on to found very powerful financial institutions like Steve Feinberg, who founded Cerberus Capital Management, which is a whole can of worms, from DynCorp allegedly trafficking children overseas in war zones to, do I have more stuff on it? To Tier 1 Group that apparently trained the Saudi nationals who assassinated Jamal Khashoggi, to bankrupting healthcare and hospital companies in the standard private equity playbook. All sorts of scandals. Claude made a mistake.
So to Mary Patriot, yes. I pulled up the tweet earlier. Candace was served with the gag order about the Charlie case. She said that she's going to defy it because everything that she found out in the past week is just crazy, and she's going to burn the whole house down with it. And then she also said that Charlie was betrayed, in her words, by everybody. So, yeah. But make sure you guys double tap that screen, man. Hit the subscribe button. Double tap or hit the notification bell. Show some love and support, man. We're on the road to 10,000 subs. Make sure you guys comment down below where you're from. I'd love to see what's up. Oh, it all ties back to demonic influence. There is very much demonic influence in our world right now. A lot. A lot of evil right now, man. Shout out Arizona. Shout out everybody else around the world who shows up in here and gives me your time. I appreciate it. And there's no way I can repay you but to give you my time and to try and give you the best time while you're with me. So make sure you guys hit the subscribe button on the road to 10,000 subs. Double tap the screen, get the likes up. Let's try and hit at least 50 likes today. And I hope everybody's having a good Monday, man. Welcome in, DH. But yeah, I hope everybody's having a blessed day, man.
Of thinking that he was on the board of GINSA, which he is not. GINSA is a whole
By the way, my daughter's waking up, so it's going to be, yeah.
rabbit hole, but we're not going to spend the time to do that right now. So let's talk about the Perlmutters. Do I have the Perlmutters? Yeah. Ike Perlmutter. He was actually born in Mandatory Palestine in 1945. He served in the IDF during the Six-Day War in 1967. And he has all sorts of ties to Israel, mostly through the Isaac and Laura Perlmutter Foundation.
I agree. I love Ian
which
Carroll
donates to, groups like Friends of the IDF, the Bruce and Marsha Moskowitz Foundation, don't know what that is, Anti-Defamation League, we all know what that is, the Robin Hood Foundation, the Jewish Agency for Israel. This is straight off of the Laura and Isaac Perlmutter Foundation's website. The foundation donated $1 million to the Foundation to Combat Anti-Semitism. To shut you up, you bigot.
Again, the gag order, she hasn't posted it, obviously, but she says she got a gag order pertaining to what she's been saying about Charlie in the case, and that she's going to violate it to tell the truth and burn the house down because everything that she learned in the past week is just insane and that everybody betrayed him, basically. I'll pull up the tweet again here in a little bit. And yes, I love Ian Carroll too. He just does awesome work.
They support Magen David Adom, Israel's representative to the International Red Cross, is the official national emergency medical disaster ambulance and blood bank service in Israel. In other words, it's a mission to save lives. The foundation supports United Hatzalah, is a community-based volunteer emergency medical services organization committed to providing the fastest response to medical emergencies across Israel. I guess they didn't get the memo on October 7th.
Would I ever visit Israel? Probably not. No.
And then they had this deal where they gave a whole bunch of money to cancer
Unless
research,
it's completely
9 million,
restructured.
but actually 6 million of it went to
I'll be right
developing
back.
a state-of-the-art research facility at the Technion campus in Israel, which is like this advanced tech company organization in Israel that does all this super advanced research. So actually, most of 6 out of 9 of those $1 million was actually going to Israel as well. So Isaac Perlmutter, huge Jewish Zionist. Robert Shillman. Robert Shillman is at the forefront of the news. Sorry, I'm scrolling all over right now. Robert Shillman is at the forefront of the news because he shows up in the Gray Zone article. Because Max Blumenthal reported just this last month that allegedly Shillman was the Zionist donor, the Jewish donor that pulled out his multi-million-dollar donations to TPUSA just days before Charlie was assassinated and asked them not to put his name on their building and not to display his plaque. He was done with it, over it, allegedly. And then in digging into Shillman, apparently, according to Max Blumenthal, Robert Shillman has also been uniquely involved in funding Tommy Robinson over in the UK. Islam, 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 Islam. You know who else he funds? Laura Loomer. That's weird. You know, Laura, I don't know how much money you're getting from billionaires, but I know that I'm not getting a single dime. I'm not getting a dime from any weird groups, organizations, philanthropies, nonprofits, dark money, billionaires, any of it. Not a single dollar, Laura. But Laura is very fond of accusing everyone on the internet of being funded by Qatar, funded by Islamic groups, whatever it is, right? Well, she is receiving money from a Jewish billionaire that is very suspicious. Okay? So maybe, Laura, just maybe, when you live in a glass house with a whole bunch of mental issues, just don't throw stones. Just don't. Because out here, at least for myself, I know I am clean. I am clean of tainted donations. I'm clean of tainted money. It's you guys that support me. It's your generous donations. It's the viewership, just regular ad revenue on the platforms. That's it. I am going to be taking sponsors in the near future from family and founder-owned companies, almost exclusively. I think totally exclusively. And we'll cross that bridge in a couple weeks. But I'm not being funded by weird billionaires and Lord knows what. So I just thought I would mention that. But that's not all. Shillman is on the board of directors at Northeastern University and Friends of the Israel Defense Forces, according to Market Screener, which is, it looks like a shady website. Market Screener is a very high level financial website that gives financial information. They're legit. And also, Wikipedia says the same thing. Shillman sits on the board of the Friends of the IDF, the Jewish Foundation for the Righteous, and the David Horowitz Freedom Center. David Horowitz, very important person in the story of TPUSA. In May of 2008, President George W. Bush appointed him to serve on the honorary delegation to accompany him to Jerusalem for the celebration of the 60th anniversary of the State of Israel.
Guys, double tap that screen. Let's try and hit at least 25 likes. Let's get 22 more beautiful people. Well, that'd be 30 likes. Double tap the screen. Show some love and support for your boy, man. Sorry I'm getting up from the camera, but my daughter just woke up from her nap. So that means I'm going to be getting up a little bit more because, as you guys know, I'm a single dad. Very proud of it. And so when I do lives, it's kind of just, me trying to bounce back and forth and whatnot. But everything should be set up so I don't have to get up for another 2 seconds, right? But let's try and get everybody to double tap that screen, man. Show some love and support to your boy, man. How's everybody doing? Jesus is king. You guys got to understand that. We need to get rid of this evil and start showing our Christianity and start showing our love for God and Jesus to beat the evilness in this world, man. Straight up.
and this is more corroboration of the same. Between 2002 and 2013, his foundation donated $2.5 million to the Friends of the IDF. Okay? So that's just a smattering of the donors that built Turning Point USA. And I think we all know what they were donating to, why they were donating, right? They donate to Friends of the IDF and to, the Jewish Freedom Center and all these other organizations, right?
Thank you, Mary.
They're building hospitals and schools and sending kids
my
from
whole world. I
America
don't go out and drink, I
to
don't go out and
Israel to
party.
do
I
propaganda tours and all these
do
things.
my
That's what they're
passion, which
donating
is
to.
my YouTube, and then
And to
be a
TPUSA.
father.
Because of what TPUSA stood for. Obviously. And so, if you've got all of these Jewish billionaires,
Welcome in, Sid.
one of whom at least, literally killed Palestinians to found Israel, what would they be willing to do to keep Turning Point USA pro-Israel?
That would be enough to collapse.
Yeah, and it's also, when you start seeing how our country's being divided through media, mainstream media, news, and all that other stuff, and just because there's no violence from them doesn't mean that they're not trying to take us out strategically from within our confines of media. We see propaganda, everything, and I've said it since the beginning: the easiest country to conquer is a country that's divided. And what country better to conquer than the superpower of America? And what better way to divide them by bringing in these feminist experiments and all this other stuff and dividing us through media and propaganda? Just saying. Just saying. All right. What was I going to show next again? Hold on. My bad. Give me a second. I can't wait till I get my new webcam. Then you guys will see me in Ultra HD. I agree with you, KL. Trust me. That's what I said. You can call it violence, but to me, I call it, well, yeah, it's violence. It's just like non-violent. I don't know what the fuck that noise was. Let's go over a little bit more of this video we were watching yesterday. Or whatever days. The history is Hasbara. And then we'll go to Candace's page, see what maybe she posted. Go over her tweet again where she's talking about the gag order, things of that nature. Well, you remember how Rome fell, guys? You guys remember that there was a bunch of circus stuff going on that kept the people distracted from what was really going on the outside of everything, right? So you got to think, in America, there's a circus going on with all these people who are asleep and all these protesters, Antifa, and all these things that are going on that are made for us to be distracted while everything else around us falls down before our very own eyes, at least with the people who are awake before our very own eyes. And definitely, yeah, it's definitely happening. And the new Rome is America. So
Propaganda, eh?
double tap that. We need 7 more beautiful people. Double tap 6 more beautiful people. Double tap that screen, and we will be at 20 likes. But let's try and get 16 more beautiful people. Double tap that screen so we can get to 30. I'm not an incel, KL, but okay.
The ministry has
I
been
don't know
at
how
the
you
center
think
of
I'm
a
an
series of
incel.
articles
That's
published by
pretty
the
dumb
Seventh
of you.
Eye over the past several months. The articles revealed that one of the Ministry of Strategic Affairs' main activities is the funding and publication of government propaganda on social networks and in newspapers, which is often carried out with the help of private businesses and nonprofit organizations operating in Israel and abroad, almost like a global conspiracy, working on behalf of the Zionist state. Rad. The term mass consciousness activities is
Christ
just
is king.
so good. Wait a minute. I want to get to the working definition of anti-Semitism before we get too far ahead of here. Oh, okay, we're coming to it. Israel has spent millions trying to win hearts and minds abroad. It's about to spend 20 times more. Remember, follow the money? You might find some truth. Israel's foreign ministry will receive $150 million for what's officially known as public diplomacy, or in Hebrew, hasbara. Israel's new foreign minister, Gideon Sa'ar, in a photo, blah, blah, blah. Okay, let's open that up. The proposed budget for 2025 includes a massive new allocation towards pro-Israel
Welcome in, Sid.
advocacy
Happy Monday to you as
for
well, dog.
efforts abroad. Under the new budget,
Hope everybody's work week is going good, starting off great. Hope everybody's on the grind, but the grind isn't grinding you. Pause. But yeah, it's gonna be a good week, man. Gonna be full of content, full of hard work. Got sick kids though, so I don't know. I'm gonna have to stream at some, but I think during bedtime is when I'll stream a lot more. Hopefully, we can keep the algorithm going when I do stream then. But it is what it is, man. But God bless everybody in the chat. Be nice to each other, and yeah.
Israel's foreign ministry will receive $150 million on top of what it gets for its existing activities, for what's officially known as public diplomacy, or hasbara. That sum is more than 20 times what such efforts have typically been allotted in past years. The dramatic expenditure is the result of a political deal that Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu struck last month to shore up his governing coalition. Politician Gideon Sa'ar and his New Hope party agreed to rejoin the coalition in return for the funding and the appointment of Sa'ar as Israel's foreign minister. Because if you aren't aware, Benjamin Netanyahu is currently holding together a coalition government of a whole bunch of ultra-far-right groups that without them, he would not have been elected again. And he probably would have actually faced trial for his corruption trial, and he probably would be in jail by now. But instead, he allied with all these ultra-far-right, super extremist groups in Israel that came together and got him elected. Okay? And this is one of those groups, is my understanding. I'm not actually...
And I got, if you guys can hear it, I'm sorry, I got K-pop Demon Hunters on in the background. My kid's favorite movie. I shared a link today where it was dad talking about, oh God, K-pop Demon Hunters and blah, blah, blah. And by the end of it, he liked it. That's me. Not gonna lie. All the songs in that fucking movie are stuck in my head. And one of them's playing right now. Ha! I wanna be live too much trying to pick. Yeah, I can't. Oh my God. Sorry, guys. I had to do it.
Familiar with the New Hope Party, but the way they're speaking about them, that's what it's implied. And they were threatening to leave, and then they agreed to rejoin because Benjamin Netanyahu made a power deal where he said, I'll give you this if you give me that, right? Something that Benjamin has done a lot of. So, 20 times the budget for hasbara in 2024. That's the kind of gravity that this situation holds for the Israeli government. It is an existential threat. The turning of American minds,
Double tap that screen.
I would almost say like the turning on of the American mind, the waking up of the American citizen
slowly but surely, but
is an existential threat to Israel. And if we start to examine the facts and get out of the hasbara, they're fucked. And so they're 20xing that budget, right? I mean, just imagine that you...
What's that supposed to be? Paragraph? No Zion down. I agree with that, I guess, right? This is that kind of stream, so I can be authentic. Yeah, I love that everybody can be authentic here. I like to think I keep my shit real and I keep it 100, you know? And I call bullshit out where it's at, but, you know, it is what it is. God bless to everybody, man. God bless you guys. Double tap that screen. 13 more likes to 30 likes. Thank you, everybody, for being here today. Happy Monday. And, yeah. I'll shut up.
Run a company.
Oh,
you got
beat
a
drop's
couple
about to come on. My daughter's singing it. We're going up, up, up until the morning. We're golden. Yeah. Golden, golden, golden.
Employees, and they do stuff. And something comes up this year, and you decide that all of a sudden you need to give 20 times the funding to that one department. 20 times. That's insane. That's completely insane, right? You run a restaurant and all of a sudden you're going to give 20 times the funding to your bar manager? The fuck is he going to do with it all, right? Not
That's how I knew I would be able to stream without any interruption right now. Is put on K-pop Demon Hunters. My daughters are just sitting out there watching them.
double, not 10 times, 20 times the Hasbro budget. Okay? Let's pull this back up for you guys. Foreign ministry to receive massive budget for public diplomacy abroad. This is reported in the Times of Israel. Again, just reconfirming with multiple sources, 150 million, more than 20 times what such efforts have typically been allotted in past years. And again, the same report. Actually, this is
Guys, $150 million. I mean, holy crap. I'm gonna pull up my Instagram here in a minute too. I got some reels I want to show you guys. I don't know. I to me, I feel like everybody's actors. Everybody who is big right now are just actors. Some of them you can trust what they say. Some like 90%. Some of them you can't trust at all. But it's like it's hard to know what you can believe now because we're starting to wake up and see everything is fucking scripted. Like, and then all the conspiracy. Once you start going down conspiracy rabbit holes, and a lot of them turn out to be true, then you go into more. You question more, and you find sources that prove otherwise in a lot of other areas. It's hard to trust anything, and that's why sometimes you just got to unplug and you got to sometimes just unplug and come back to reality and then look at it in the good lens again.
clearly this article from
Double
Jewish
tap that screen,
Chronicle.
guy. Hey, all right,
is the
guys,
exact-
do not make me take this stream hostage, okay? All I'm asking for is 13 more beautiful, God-loving people. Double tap that screen and get us to 30 likes, man. Show some love and support. We got 100 people in here. We can do it.
Exact same as this one. Yeah, they're pulling it from JTA there. So, Gen X girl. I'm going to pull up this actual post so that we can watch this video.
Did anyone hear about the fact that Nick Fuentes and Andrew Wilson's daughter had a thing? I don't know how much solidity there is there, but I don't know if you guys know who the influencer Roma Army is. She's like a men's advocacy guy. She was on the whatever podcast and all this other stuff. I don't mind her content. I just kind of watch her shorts though. I don't watch any long form shit she does if she does any. But she was like calling him out about. She was calling out Brian Atlas too from whatever, like saying all this crazy shit. I'll play it after this. I'm gonna find the clip real quick. I'll bring it up.
The Eighth Front War. The idea of this Eighth Front War comes from our boy Jonathan.
There's an eighth front in this war. It might not be a terrestrial.
Bro, I just pull up Instagram and the first thing I see on World Star is inmate accused of smuggling a 22 caliber revolver in his behind and shooting another inmate inside a police van. What? Like, what? Oh my god, dude! Oh shit, never stops, huh? A prisoner was hospitalized Thursday night after being shot in the leg by another inmate inside a prisoner transport van, according to the Mount Vernon police. The incident occurred near West Lincoln Avenue and Oak Street as 5 prisoners were being taken to the Westchester County Jail. Police Chief Marcel Oliver said two Mount Vernon officers were seated in the front of the van when the gun went off. Investigators identified the alleged shooter as Luis Santos, 32 years of age, of the Bronx, who had been arrested earlier this week in connection with a forcible touching. Okay, we're done with that case. And well, that's why he doesn't mind shoving something in his dark region, right? Law enforcement sources said Santos smuggled a 22 caliber Rome revolver into the van by concealing it in his buttocks. Police later recovered the weapon from inside the vehicle. Dude, that is insane. All right, my bad. I guess I just had to say that. That was pretty fucking funny, wasn't it? 8 more likes. We're at 30 likes. Thank you guys. But yeah, I would keep playing the video. I'm gonna pull up
border that you can find on a map. But this domain is as volatile, is as violent, and is as vital to our future. The information sphere, the infosphere, is the eighth front in this war.
So just in case you don't know, this man is Jonathan Greenblatt. And it says right there on his card, CEO and National Director of the Anti-Defamation League.
Well, where's my reshoot?
And if you don't know about the Anti-Defamation League, we don't even have the beginnings of the time to go into how fucked up the Anti-Defamation League is. They should be called the Defamation League.
And seizing the high ground in the fight for global public opinion is a battle that's as important to the long-term war as what you've done in Lebanon and Syria.
So he just said that seizing the upper hand in the information war is
I'm
as
gonna fix my lighting
important
real
as
quick.
the
I'll be back.
kinetic war, the actual war.
So one of the things we have fought now, a seven-front war, we have an eighth front, and that is the front in the battle for truth.
Christian influencers. Okay. You said, we talked about the woke right, and you said, I call it the woke Reich. That's a brilliant observation.
Brilliant observation.
Yeah, the battle for truth, guys. The battle for truth. We're going to buy all social media companies and everything else. And we're battling for truth. Our truth. Our truth. Fucking dumb.
What he means is that's a brilliant piece of propaganda. That's a brilliant ad hominem, right? Because that's the bread and butter of Hasbara. Not the truth, not citing your sources, not accurate journalism. Notice how none of that Hasbara manual was about how to research the truth, how to cite your sources, be a good journalist, how to fact check things. None of it. That's not what it's about. It's about propaganda.
The woke right, because these people, you know, they're not any different from the woke left. I mean, they're insane.
They're insane. They're lunatics, and they're not any different than the woke left. Well, Benjamin, as a person that grew up around the woke left and knows them quite well, and who is now a proud member of the woke Reich, as you say, let's just say we're pretty different. And it's really not that hard to figure out. I mean, like, I walk around wearing shirts that say Patriot, carrying a gun, like eating meat with my bare hands, doing physical activity, reporting on, you know, all these conspiracy theories that are very much not from the left. We're very different. There is sort of a horseshoe out there, but it's really just like a hollow ad hominem to try to say that the woke right and the woke left have anything to do with each other. Even the term woke right is a made up word that is actually a very woke tactic where you divide people into identity groups and make up weird little semantic games to try to say, you're not allowed to say that. You're not allowed to say that. That hurts my feelings, right? The term woke right, as far as I'm aware, was made up by who? James Lindsay, right? I'm not going to start attacking James Lindsay's looks. Never mind.
But they're actually meeting on some of the things. And what we have to do is we have to secure that part of the base of our support in the United States. That is being challenged systematically. A lot of this is done with money. Money of NGOs, vast. Money of governments, vaster. Okay? We have to fight back. How do we fight back? Our influencers. I think you should also talk to them if you have a chance. To that community, they're very important. And secondly, we're going to have to use the tools of battle. You know, the weapons change over time.
We've been through this before. We've watched this clip before. The tools of battle, right? We're going to have to use the tools of battle.
You can't fight today with swords. That doesn't work very well, okay? And you can't fight with cavalry. That doesn't work very well. And you have these new things, you know, like drones, things like that. I won't get into that. But we have to fight with the weapons that apply to the battlefields in which we're engaged. And the most important ones are the social media.
It says it right there. It's just like out in the open. We have to use the weapons that apply to the battlefields where we're fighting. And the most important one is social media. The most important battlefield is social media, and the most important weapons are social media. And so what does that mean? That means that you are the target. You are the target of Israel's most important battlefield, most important warfare campaign, and you're fair game. And they're going to use all the tools of warfare that they have at their disposal to target you and to get you to support Israel. And nowhere have you heard them talk about the importance of truth, the importance of fact-checking, citing sources, any of that shit, because that has nothing to do with it in their minds. Because the thing is, imagine if you have social media occurring, right? And this is
Mike is making stuff. No, this is not just another freaking echo chamber. We are going over stuff because I like Ian Carroll. First of all, he does really good at informing people, and I like watching him. It grabs my memory and my attention. And not only that, but if you don't like the channel, then leave. Anyways, guys, sorry I had to get up. As you guys know, my daughter woke up. Single dad life. Wouldn't trade it for the world. So even if my daughter, as she just did, while holding our bearded dragon, smacks me in the face, I still say, you know what? I love you. I'll grab you. I'll grab you your little shirt so if you walk in front of my camera, I won't get in trouble. But anyway, she was trying to come in front of the camera and she didn't have any clothes on because she was sleeping. She's only 3. I'm not trying to have her be shown on my camera like that. But yeah, man, if you support the channel, double tap that screen, show some love and support. We're on the road to 10,000 subs. Last time I checked, we're at 7,288 subs. Now we're at 7,295. Oh my God, we've gained what, 7 subs? Thank you guys so much. Double tap that screen. It only takes 2 seconds to double tap the screen with your fingers and get us to as many likes as we can and show some love and support. And yeah, thank you, Danielle. Being a dad is my favorite thing in the world. I don't go out to bars and drink. I don't hang out with anybody. I have like no friends. My best friends are my kids, and you guys on here don't give a fuck about all that other stuff. It's overrated for me. I've had my days of doing what I used to do, and I'm over it. So I just am doing my passion, which is this YouTube channel and my media, entities, and chilling with you guys and being a father. So thank you, Johnny Boy, for the sub. I appreciate you. God bless everybody in here. Jesus is King and the one and only King, and we will fight the evil and unify, whether we're black, brown, Hispanic, Chinese, white, doesn't matter. We got to unify. Muslim, Christian, even Israel or Jews, like Israel people, or whatever you want to call them. We all need to unify, man. This is just insane. We're all under one nation, man. We're all under one world, man. Under one God, one creator. There's no 2 creators, not 3 creators, there's one creator. And we're all made in his image. And we need to stop being so divided. I was just watching Channel 5 with Andrew Callahan, he was going over the Portland Antifa riots and interviewing people, and it's just so insane how, and I'm so grateful it hasn't hit my city. Like in a city near me, there was a protest, but it wasn't nothing like it is in Portland and stuff. But like in my city, um, I'm just glad it's not here. I'm in a conservative, state, and it's not too crazy here. But it's just crazy how everything's happening around our country, and it makes me worry, man. When we were seeing the No Canes protests and all the helicopter flyovers, how many people have been gathering everywhere, it's kind of like like I said yesterday, it reminded me of that video where in England, what was it, like 1 million people showed up, and it's like, yeah, man, it just makes you think about revolution and stuff like that. What's up, Jay Bay? Welcome in, welcome in. But I'll shut up. I'm gonna continue playing this. God bless you guys. I think Benjamin Netanyahu is crazy. He's just trying to get out of his criminal cases by continuing to incite different violences and all this other stuff and take over TikTok and do all this other stuff. But as you guys know, Netanyahu has a lot worse people behind him, like a lot worse. He's probably one of the most moderate people in Israel. Because you damn well know that he has people behind him, just like Vladimir Putin does, who say you better do this or pew pew. So Danielle, you seem like a great father. I have 3 daughters myself and a wonderful husband who loves his family. God bless. Free Palestine, yeah, I agree. So far, Palestine is in the working of that, but we'll see how long that lasts. Thank you, Danielle. I appreciate it. Like I said, being a father is the only thing that matters to me. Unfortunate, or I guess fortunately in my situation, because of how crazy the person is, the other parent isn't in the situation as much, and it makes it kind of better for me because I only care about prioritizing my children and being successful and taking care of them, and I don't need all the extra bullshit. I'll just say this: being a parent isn't when it's convenient, right? So that's why when you're on my streams and you're seeing me stream, uh, and I get up or I have to do whatever, and it's like people who give me grief about that. You have no idea what it's like to be a parent, and You will one day, and once you do become a parent, you'll understand. But my kids mean everything to me, and there's no such thing as a parenting when you want to. Parenting's a extra full time job, and to me, it's the best job you could ever have of the blessing to get, from the Lord. I lost one son, as you guys know, to SIDS, and I think that plays a part to why I'm very, very much even more protective of my kids that I have here. So, but yeah, thank you, Danielle. It means a lot to me. God bless you guys. Johnny boy, life always starts when you have kids. Nothing else matters from the day they are born. Not one step back. I agree. And I always say to men, if they're having trouble, like I know I'm rambling. I'll shut up after this, but I used to have a best friend that lived with me for the longest time, right? And he had younger brothers, and they were like babies when we used to hang out in middle school and whatever. Now they're grown, like 20 years old, and one of them's having a kid, and he's been having trouble with alcoholism and all this other stuff. And he was questioning whether or not to be in the kid's life. And I was like, bro, that's not a question, Um, if the kid is yours and you love the girl you're with, it's gonna change your life. And I'm the reason why he went and he is a part of those kids' lives, and he thanks me all the time for telling them because it changed him. It doesn't just change you as a person, it changes you instinctively, naturally, and spiritually. Um, I mean, there's just no other blessing but kids. Kids are the best, man. You look down and you see a little mini you that just depends on you and makes you want to go harder. And there's no way, Mr. Iceman, there's no way that it holds you back. But I'm gonna let this play. I'll be right back.
Actually, the tragic irony of this conversation becomes apparent pretty quickly as you think about it. Imagine you have all of social media and it's like a pool in front of you, and we're all in there, spitting memes, making jokes, getting in arguments, having a good old time. Social media. And no one is doing any state-sponsored propaganda at all. It's just real, regular old conversations in social media, right? There'll be some truth going around. There'll be some journalism. There'll be some lies and incorrect shit. There'll be clickbait. There'll be advertising. There'll be all this shit, right? But ultimately, the journalistic spaces in an open social media environment with no outside foreign influences will largely just skew towards the truth because that's what everyone's job is. That's what everyone's there to do. And you'll always get some, assholes that are coming in and just like clickbaiting. You'll always get some people that are getting things wrong. That'll happen. But for the most part, if you don't do anything to that system, it'll just skew towards the truth. And the journalists that get the most truth right will rise and be popular. And certainly there will be people that will become popular because of their gimmicks and their clickbait and all these other things. But why would you need to infuse millions of dollars of warfare strategy?
One thing I gotta say too about having kids is the feminist movement and everybody else who believes in, pro-choice and all this other stuff, they, to me, it's just a whole anti-human movement. It's a whole anti-family. They're trying to destroy the nuclear family, and the easiest country to conquer is one that does not have a nuclear family, that's not united. And, my father passed away when I was 9, right? And I've never met any of that side of the family. And to me, having kids, like, I know I'm continuing my bloodline. I know that I'm, nothing else in this world matters to me. And these other parents in here can also attest to this. Nothing else in this world matters to me. Like if I'm on my deathbed and I'm looking back, the only thing I care about is how I raised my kids, the kids I had, how I'm viewed as a father, and continuing my bloodline and the legacy I left behind. Like all that rotates around being a father, being a parent, being a good man with integrity, being a man who sticks by morals and values, not just by money and temptation. Um, so that's all I had to add on to that. But kids are just the biggest blessing. Wouldn't trade it for the world. I fought very hard for my kids for a year and a half, and I knew what I was fighting for. A lot of men would not do what I did at all. A lot of men would not do what I did, but I'm not those men. But thank you for the 30 likes. If 20 more of you beautiful, God-loving people want to double tap the screen to show some love and support, let's try and get to 50.
into the social media space, right? Unless your goal was to subvert the truth, because the truth is self-apparent. It's self-evident. We report on the truth for free, right? If it's true, you don't have to pay me to report on it. And if it's not true, you could never pay me enough to report on it, right? And so the very admission that they are going to first
That's why we
treat
love
social
Ian
media
Carroll right
like
there.
warfare, and that they're going to activate all of their possible weapons to target all of you with whatever it is they're doing, that admission alone tells you that they're paying to lie to you. They're paying to change your perspective and to change the nature of truth in our public square.
Well, see, one thing too, we can bring up like Charlie Kirk, for example. Like for some reason, welcome in Johnny Boy. Shout out Dublin, Ireland. God bless you. I have a lot of people that love the channel from Ireland, England, everywhere else like that. I appreciate your love. Welcome to the family, brother. We're on the road to 10,000 subs. I'm glad to have you, dude. I never try and miss a chat. I never try and forget anybody's name, because when I say you're joining the family, I mean that wholeheartedly. This is a family I am building. And but you know, on to what I was gonna say. Love you, brother. Bless you. You know, the thing is that like when things happen like with Charlie, I think they really realized like, oh shit, like it's not like it was before. We can't just go out and take someone out and put out a narrative and not expect them to investigate themselves, because there's a million cell phones whipped out and there's this and that and blah 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 blah. So I mean, it'd be way easier. Welcome in, Sarah. Um, welcome in, Sarah. Much love, much love. Thank you, Danielle. Exactly, they are an extension of ourselves, 100%. To me, children, that's the best accomplishment you can get in life. You could be a billionaire. If you don't have kids that love you, that you're leaving on, your accomplishments mean nothing. Like in the Bible, materialism is works of the devil. Um, you know, materials mean nothing. You can't take that with you. When you have kids and you have kids that love you, and you worked your whole life to be a good dad, and you became, say, a millionaire because you were working on trying to be a good dad to provide for those kids while still being in their lives, and you did it right, to me, that's the right way to go. But welcome in, Sarah. Welcome to everybody else. Yeah, like I said, man, they're just trying to control it all. They realize that we are not as dumb as we used to be, but we weren't dumb. We were just kind of held back because we didn't have the technologies we have now. So now they're saying, "Oh, damn! Well, now we got to adjust to the times," and they're trying to acquire what we can, investigate on and say the truths on, and it's scary. Just like digital ID. Never, you guys, do never do these freaking things they're coming out with. Okay. I mean, like, welcome in, Rebecca. Welcome in, welcome in. If you guys haven't subscribed yet, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Last time I looked, we're at what, 7,296 subs. Now we're at 7,299. Whoop whoop. We're almost at 7,300. We're on the road to 10,000 subs. We're getting closer and closer by the day. Hold on, baby, 1 second. My daughter's calling me, but like in China, they're already doing social credit score. Like, I was reading this video the other day, and they were like, they have barcodes in their hand, and you can't even get a fucking dose of sugar in your coffee without scanning it. Or I tried going on my Instagram, but for some reason it's not showing my reposts. Excuse me. But imagine if they shut your car down because your social credit score was too low, or because you said something on the internet. Or imagine they turned off your power, then they came to arrest you. I mean, we're coming into such a technologically police state that it's scary. And yeah, I'm gonna go check on my girl real quick. My cat needs to go back in his room, because when the bearded dragon's out, he needs to go away. I'll be right back. Love you guys.
And the most important purchase that is going on right now is class TikTok.
And if the most important thing you're doing is purchasing a social media platform in another country so that you can control what young people are seeing in another country, I'm sorry, please explain to me how that is not subversive, right? And I've been talking about that for ages. A number of us have been talking about that for ages. TikTok has been enemy number one. Jonathan Greenblatt had some great quotes about the TikTok problem.
TikTok, number one. And I hope it goes through because it can be consequential. And the other one, what's the other one? That's most important. X. X. Exactly. Very good.
Very good, class. What a pretentious prick. Right? So, this Eighth Front War, the most important battlefield upon which Israel finds itself today, is your social media feed. It's your Instagram, it's your Facebook, it's your Twitter, it's your TikTok, it's your news feeds everywhere. And they're just openly talking about it. So, January of 2025, the influence campaign scores a major victory. President Donald Trump signed Executive Order 14188, building on a 2019 order that adopted the IHRA definition of anti-Semitism. This order effectively codifies into U.S. policy certain Bible references and criticism of Israel as anti-Semitism, directing the full force of the federal government to use this definition to combat so-called hate. So, this is the most recent one, January 29th, 2025. Additional measures to combat anti-Semitism, because we needed more of that. And it's building on this older executive order, 13899. And when you go to look up 13899, it is not found anymore, which I don't think is like some nefarious thing. I assume it's just that they wipe all the ones from old presidencies or something like that. I don't know. But we've got the Wayback Machine. So I went and found it and dug it up just to, remind us all of what this executive order was. And I'm confused by this one because this is 2019 that we're talking about here, right? And I thought this happened in like 2023. So maybe I'm crazy. I don't know. But in 2019, in his first term, Trump was already sucking the wall, so to speak. Section 2, ensuring robust enforcement of Title VI. And identifying evidence of discrimination based on race, color, or national origin, all executive departments and agencies charged with enforcing Title VI shall consider the following. 1, the non-legally binding working definition of anti-Semitism adopted on May 26, 2016 by the International Holocaust Remembrance Alliance, which I'm sure is just a nonpartisan, independent organization that's just working for the good of the world. I'm sure they have no ties to Israel. I'm sure they're not funded by the same Jewish donors funding everybody else. I'm sure that they are just trying to, remind everybody of some important history with no other weird political agendas at all, right? Right? So what is this non-legally binding working definition of anti-Semitism? And notice how they purposefully framed it in 2016 as non-legally binding, so it doesn't get too scary. And then it slowly gets walked into legally binding. It gets put slowly, little by little, into law, right? And at first in 2019, it's a guideline to help you enforce Title VI. And then it's like a guideline that's there to help you kick students out of college campuses when they're protesting. And then, one thing leads to another and you're in the gulags. Working definition of anti-Semitism. Is this a page that I can scroll? It is. Cool. That's the cool thing about Obsidian is I literally can put web pages in here live. So this is an actual web page that I'm scrolling through here. Love it. So there's all this stuff at the top of the page, but it gets really juicy when you get to these bullet points. So all of these things are considered anti-Semitism by this working definition that is now getting codified into law and is now actually...
Yes, Sabrina, or Sarah, sorry, he is real. I don't know what kind of camera he has or webcam he has, but yeah, it does lag when he talks. It's doing it for me too, but we can try and let's try and...
dude, this must be Hamas propaganda.
All right, is this where we're at? Or are we farther down here? Yeah, we were farther down for sure. Yeah, I don't know, it just lags, but 10 more likes, we're at 50 likes. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate all the love. Again, sorry I get up, but kids come first. I had to put the bearded dragon away. Candace Owens is a loon.
Number one, Jonathan Greenblatt had some great quotes about the TikTok problem.
TikTok, number one. And I hope it goes through because it can be consequential.
Let me know if this is
And the
where
other
we're
one,
at.
what's the other one? That's most important.
Let me know if this is where we're at. If I have to skip forward a little bit, I will. Reginald, you sleep good, brother. God bless. Thank you for being here. I'm gonna try and either go live since my job got rid of me for my views and for my YouTube. I'm gonna go ahead and try and go live earlier in the morning or something. Either before I wake my kids up for school, which seems to me like the more unreasonable time. So most likely later at night, which I know you won't be a part of, but maybe I can go live after I bring them to school. So around 9 a.m. for me, I'll probably do that. But it's never bye, bro. It's see you later. Don't ever say bye to me, Reginald. That's messed up, bro. You just hurt my feelings, bro. So I had to plug in the laptop. Is it charging? All right, there we go. All right, yeah. I hope you have a good night, bro. Stay safe. God bless. And I love you guys. I'm going to continue the video, but let me know if I have to go farther on. If not, then we're good then. All right.
X. That's
Cesspool.
very good.
Very good, class. What a pretentious prick. Right? So, this Eighth Front War, the most important battlefield upon which Israel finds itself today, is your social media feed. It's your Instagram, it's your Facebook, it's your Twitter, it's your TikTok, it's your news feeds everywhere. And they're just openly talking about it. So, January of 2025, the influence campaign scores a major victory. President Donald Trump signed Executive Order 14188, building on a 2019 order that adopted the IHRA definition of anti-Semitism. This order effectively codifies into U.S. policy certain Bible references and criticism of Israel as anti-Semitism, directing the full force of the federal government to use this definition to combat so-called hate. So, this is the most recent one, January 29th, 2025. Additional measures to combat anti-Semitism, because we needed more of that. And it's building on this older executive order, 13899. And when you go to look up 13899, it is not found anymore, which I don't think
I wish Reginald was still in here for Vic.
is like some nefarious thing. I assume it's just that they wipe all the ones from old presidencies or something like that. I don't know. But we've got the Wayback Machine. So I went and found it and dug it up just to, remind us all of what this executive order was. And I'm confused by this one because this is 2019 that we're talking about here, right? And I thought this happened in like 2023. So maybe I'm crazy. I don't know. But in 2019, in his first term, Trump was already sucking the wall, so to speak. Section 2, ensuring robust enforcement of Title VI. And identifying
Shout out
evidence of
everybody new that's
discrimination
in here.
based on
God
race,
bless you
color, or
guys.
national origin, all executive departments and agencies charged with enforcing Title VI shall consider the following. 1, the non-legally binding working definition of anti-Semitism adopted on May 26, 2016 by the International Holocaust Remembrance Alliance, which I'm sure is just a nonpartisan, independent organization that's just working for the good of the world. I'm sure they have no ties to Israel. I'm sure they're not funded by the same Jewish donors funding everybody else. I'm sure that they are just trying to, remind everybody of some important history with no other weird political agendas at all, right? So what is this non-legally binding working definition of anti-Semitism? And notice how they purposefully framed it in 2016 as non-legally binding, so it doesn't get too scary. And then it slowly gets walked into legally binding. It gets put slowly, little by little by little, into law. right? And at first in 2019, it's a guideline to help you enforce Title VI. And then it's like a guideline that's there to help you kick students out of college campuses when they're protesting. And then, one thing leads to another and you're in the gulags. Working definition of anti-Semitism. Is this a page that I can scroll? It is. Cool. That's the cool thing about Obsidian is I literally can put web pages in here live. So this is an actual web page that I'm scrolling through here. Love it.
That's pretty
So
dope.
there's all this stuff at the top of the page, but it gets really juicy when you get to these bullet points. So all of these things are considered anti-Semitism by this working definition that is now getting codified into law and is now actually legally binding for a lot of federal institutions. And you can actually be punished. You can be fined. You can be kicked out of institutions. You can have your visas revoked. They're even talking about having your citizenship revoked in some cases if you do any of these things. Okay, just to be clear. Calling for, aiding, or justifying the killing of or harming of Jews in the name of a radical ideology or an extremist view of religion, yeah, legit. Let's not hurt people or kill them. Totally legit. Making mendacious, dehumanizing, demonizing, or stereotypical allegations about Jews, such as, allegations about Jews as such, or the power of Jews as collective, such as, but especially not limited
Welcome
to
in, Jesser.
exclusively.
I'm probably going to get off here in about 10
the
minutes.
myth
I'll be back
about
on
a world
tonight.
Jewish conspiracy, or of Jews controlling the media, economy, government, or other societal institutions. It's just a myth. All these sources that we're going through tonight is just a myth. And in fact, it's a myth that if you even discuss, you must hate Jews. So much so that you should probably be kicked out of school, have your funding revoked, have your passport revoked, have your visa revoked. Who knows? Maybe we should just throw you in prison, right? For even suggesting that there might be a world Jewish conspiracy or Jews controlling the media or something like that. Because Jews can't even work together. Like literally, Jews are not capable of collaborating, right? Because that's what a conspiracy is people working together for their goals. Duh, right? As if Jewish people can't do that. Everyone does that. Everyone does that, right? There are Christian conspiracies. There are Muslim conspiracies. There are atheist conspiracies. There's satanic conspiracies. This is just how people work. They work together to try to do what they want to do. And Jews are better at it than just about anyone else on the planet because Jews have a stronger sense of national identity than anyone else on the planet. You might almost say they have a monopoly on national identity in a certain way. And they like to keep it that way. White people, back the fuck off. Because that would be bad, to be clear. You would be a Nazi if you were a white person that was proud of being white. That, just to be clear, that would be, you'd be a Nazi. So, accusing Jews as a people of being responsible for real or imagined wrongdoing committed by a single Jewish person or group, or even for acts committed by non-Jews. Yeah, I mean, that's complicated. It's fair.
Thank you, Johnny boy.
Denying the fact, scope, mechanisms, e.g. gas chambers. So basically no Holocaust, questioning, denial, not allowed to ask questions about the Holocaust, which makes me ask all kinds of questions about the Holocaust. I'm sorry. Like you're going to try to pass laws that tell me I can't question something. I'm immediately going to question it. Accusing the Jews as a people or Israel as a state of inventing or exaggerating the Holocaust. That's illegal. Again, it's like, I wasn't questioning it before. Accusing Jewish citizens of being more loyal to Israel or to the alleged priorities of Jews worldwide than to the interests of their own nations. Right. Just don't listen to their own fucking words. Right? Like, who was it? Was it Ben Shapiro that said the existence of the state of Israel is the single greatest guarantor of my loyalty to America? Was it Ted Cruz that said that he got into Congress on the explicit goal to fight for Israel? Right? He's not even Jewish. He's just a fucking cuck. Like, accusing Jewish citizens of being more loyal to Israel. That is the most mind-blowing one on this whole list, as far as I'm concerned.
But VK, I appreciate. Thank you for your service. But what's your what's been the hateful rhetoric? The fact that we're just calling out the bullshit, or what's been the? I don't think I've seen anyone have hateful rhetoric in here besides, whatever the hell is Reginald. But he likes to always be kind of inflammatory.
Denying the Jewish people their right to self-determination, for example, by claiming that the existence of a state of Israel is a racist endeavor. The existence of the state of Israel is a racist endeavor. It's an ethno-state. And saying that you are God's chosen people is indistinguishable from saying that the Aryan race is superior. Okay? Applying double standards by requiring of Israel a behavior not expected or demanded of any other democratic nation, like not murdering children, like not raping prisoners that are in your prisons, like following the law. Right? Like not starving an entire population of people intentionally. Double standards. Whew. Using the symbols and images associated with classic anti-Semitism, e.g. claims of Jesus killing or Jews killing Jesus or blood libel to characterize Israel or Israelis.
I agree.
Drawing comparisons of contemporary Israeli policy to that of the Nazis. It's like the Nazis. I'm sorry. It is. Right? Like ethno-state, doing a genocide. Yeah. And then I cut off on the bottom here where they talk. I mean, it is in part, it's right there, but they have another one, I think, that's about how, like, basically you can't talk about the Jesus thing because that would be anti-Semitic. There's a number of passages in the Bible that are officially anti-Semitic now because of this working definition. That is not non-legally binding anymore. It is now becoming legally binding and walking its way straight into the halls of power. Okay. So let's just be clear. You're all anti-Semitic. You're all going to hell. Get wrecked. February 2025. In a move of profound significance, yet little known. This is a huge shout out to Gen X Girl. Don't know how she dug this one up. This one is super obscure and super significant. So February of this year, Pam Bondi, on her first day, disbands the Foreign Influence Task Force, the very DOJ office responsible for enforcing FARA, the Foreign Agents Registration Act. The change specifically limits DOJ prosecutors from criminally charging those involved in public relations work and policy advocacy on behalf of foreign businesses and nonprofits. This deliberate incapacitation of the enforcement mechanism gave a green light to foreign influence operatives, ensuring that the Knesset's 2018 plan to skirt FARA could proceed with minimal risk of prosecution. Remember how they were worried? Israel was worried about, like, what are the rules around FARA and how do we get around them and how do we do our influence campaigns without tripping up the FARA system and getting into trouble, because just maybe there might be something coming up on our little plans that we might kind of need to do some foreign influence campaigns about. And it's in this memorandum from Pam Bondi, the Attorney General. And there's a whole bunch of other points too. And this is just one of them.
One bad, two valve. That is one of the best things I've seen in chat all day. God bless you, brother. I hope you're subscribed and a part of the family. I hope to see you in future lives. God bless you, bro. Agreed 100%. Much love.
Them, and this is just a little thing hiding in one of these points from this memo that I guess Gen X Girl noticed or something. Shifting resources in the National Security Division to free resources to address more pressing priorities.
Welcome in, D.
Excuse me. And end risks of further weaponization and abuses of prosecutorial discretion, the Foreign Influence Task Force shall be disbanded. Recourse to criminal charges under the Foreign Agents Registration Act and 18 Code 951 shall be limited to instances of alleged conduct similar to more traditional espionage by foreign government actors. Like Jeffrey Epstein, maybe? Like Jeffrey Epstein? Like, in theory, theoretically.
God bless you, Porch. God
like,
bless everybody who's in here. I love you guys.
With respect
to the family,
and
hit
95,
subscribe on the road
951,
to
the
10,000.
counterintelligence and
Double tap that
export
screen.
control section,
And I hope
including the
to see
FAR
you in the
unit, shall
next
focus
live.
on civil enforcement, regulatory initiatives, and public guidance. So, no more FARA enforcement, unless it's like a legit spy. You're all good. You're free to go. There's no cop on the beat anymore. Just in time.
That's just wild.
What is that? April 11th, 2025. Paula White Kane interviews Benjamin Netanyahu on Daystar TV, a Christian Zionist network that broadcasts from Israel. During the interview, she proclaims that Christians must visit Israel in order to go to heaven. If you don't know about Daystar, oh boy.
That's insane. Trump's White House faith advisor, Paula White, says Christians should be mandated to visit Israel before getting into heaven. You see how they try and take religion and just mold you into what they want you to be because they're supposed to be the faith advisor or the Pope or this person or that person. And that's why more and more people are turning against religion because of that. Right there.
There's a whole rabbit hole. You can go down on YouTube. You can look it up in the news. You can read about it. Daystar is one of the biggest megachurches in America. And like a lot of the other megachurches, they've got this all sorts of wild fucking like scandals, but it's like literally reality TV, just the most pathetic, evil, spineless, snaky humans all got together and had a family. And then that family was in charge of one of the biggest mega churches in America. And it's just the most mind-blowingly idiotic and amoral and unchristian thing you could ever come up with. I mean, the larger scandals around this whole network.
I can agree
But
with more. I've been
Paula White, Donald Trump's faith advisor, is her own whole can of worms here.
going since about 1986. It made the Bible in so many ways come alive. But
That's why I love Ian Carroll, because it's like he brings up shit that we would most likely miss. Like, this person's a can of worms. This person's a can of worms. Like, he does such good research that, like, he will see shit we don't, you know? Shout out Ian, man.
fell in love with the people, with the culture, with the nation. I took my children and my grandchildren right before the horrific October 7th attack. And we embedded ourselves, a good friend was having a bar mitzvah. We embedded ourselves within the Orthodox community and had Shabbat together and ate together and fellowship together, studied the Torah together, went all over Israel. And it was one of the most memorable, best times that we have had as a family. And so we are so grateful. I encourage Christians all over the world, you must make your journey to Israel.
Listen to Paul.
I say it will be the best.
We will welcome you.
Like I tell
Jerusalem
America,
We might spit on you a few times, but we'll welcome you, right? I mean, they only spit on Brandon Tatum once. It was like, that was so kind of them. Like, Brandon was just really overwhelmed with how kind that was of them to only spit on him once.
Nazareth and the Sea of Galilee and all the places that you hear about, they're not somewhere
yep.
remote. They're real places.
One bad, two bad. Well, it'd be interesting to see what comes of it. At this point, when it comes to people who are running for president or things like that, I really just don't trust anything anymore. Because it's so obvious. Like with Trump, we thought he was going to drain the swamp, whatever, boom, boom, boom. And now I think it's so obvious to everybody that there's powers that lie above the president, that when they think that before they get into office, they're going to do all this stuff and they win people over with their views. But then once they get into office, it's like, nope, sorry. Let's attach the strings to your back because the puppet master's about to be at play. That's just my opinion. Not factual. That's just my opinion. I hope that one day someone can get in there and do very good and change a lot of things. But it just seems like unless we start being America first, we'll never have a president that can do America first things, if that makes sense to you. But I would love to see it.
They're actually very close to each other. So you can actually see where the Bible happened. You can actually see it where it happened. And there are remnants too. I mean, there are churches, there's...
And when the original Zionists were talking about the Zionist idea, the Zionist plan, originally a lot of them were saying we should go do it in South America. And they were throwing around different ideas. And then it kind of came up that, doing it in Palestine would be pretty good because there would be this whole religious narrative that we could play off of. And that would help get Jews to come and, start this whole Zionist state thing. And that's a large part of why it wound up being in Palestine.
A church right in the Sea of Galilee where Jesus preached.
Oh, yeah.
In Capernaum. It's there. It's standing there. You can stand exactly where Jesus stood. You can walk in the footsteps of Jesus.
See, I'll just
and the Hebrew kings.
Well, guys, we all know who controls the government. I mean, the biggest bank, like Rockefellers, Rothschilds, all these people who are at the top, who really own everything, BlackRock, Vanguard, all these people who have everything under control. Yeah, I mean, it's just, yeah, it's scary because it's like if we can't ever be. To me, it's like, is America the only country that's just like under control like that? Because what's Russia like? What's China like? Are there people there that say, nope, you got to do this too because we own the world? Or is it just the United States because a lot of those banks are in just the United States and in the UK and in this place and in this place? Like it's such a, yeah, I don't know. It's just such a crazy rabbit hole that I think we should dive into it one day and see. I would love to do that, but it's just hard to trust anything because once you realize, yeah, everything's kind of just controlled regardless. Well, what can we do?
And everywhere. And the prophets, all the prophets that Jeremiah, Isaiah,
It's so life transforming.
Except remember that as far as I'm aware, the Jewish religion believes that Jesus was a heretic that totally sacrileged God and was not good. And like, where is he now, according to them?
I love going up.
But Benjamin Netanyahu is not religious anyways. He doesn't give a fuck.
That's
He's
the
just
thing. Like, what do the Jews believe in about Jesus? Where is he? That's why it's just so ironic to me to, yeah.
Hold on to power. So,
You guys got me for another 5 minutes. I'm gonna get off.
And just meditating there and seeing just the richness of the Bible in its entirety. It makes everything make sense. And now the archaeological things that have been discovered and the findings that are still happening really give people such an education that I'll be honest, they will not get over here in America at 30 minutes in a church or an hour to church service. They certainly won't get in the universities over here. Well, it's almost, I say as a Christian, it should be mandated to go to Israel before you get to heaven.
Whoa. I was starting to wonder if she would actually say it or if I was getting clickbaited right here. That's pretty wild. because like, let's be clear, I'm not super into like the religion of Christianity, as in the establishment, the organization, the government of Christianity, so to speak. But like in my interactions with Christians of all forms, there's certain things that are like a little more sacrilegious than others. And that's like making claims as though you were God or you were Jesus, like proclaiming to speak for God and for Jesus is like pretty bold. Making claim. I mean, she was suggesting it, not claiming it to be true, I guess, but that's a little awkward. But what do I know? I mean, I'm no expert. All right, fast forward, July 20th. The Israeli Foreign Ministry announces a program to send 550 influencers on fully paid trips to Israel by year's end with the goal of creating a cadre of sympathetic social media voices. Right? And we all remember this. The initiative will bring 16 US-based influencers under the age of 30, each with hundreds of thousands to millions of followers to counter what the ministry sees as a decline in pro-Israel sentiment among younger Americans. Right? This included, so the CCPI is the, I forget. We'll come back to it in a second and find what that stands for. They hold a private meeting to counter the woke right defamation of Israel, targeting influencers like Theo Vaughn, Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and Steve Bannon. I'll work harder so that I'm on the list next time. And attendees included all of these people. Yair Netanyahu, Benjamin Netanyahu's son, who's been hiding in Florida the entire time there's been this war going on over there. And then we get to August, and Bill Ackman hosts this meeting in the Hamptons to discuss support for Israel with influencers, including Charlie Kirk, Seth Dillon, C.J. Pearson, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Xavier DeRousseau, Emily Saves America, all of these shills. Had a great meeting with U.S. Ambassador to Israel, Mike Huckabee, at the U.S. Embassy in Jerusalem. Cam Higbee, Xavier, all of them. Shills all around, right? So just remember, this is happening now in this environment where they have multiplied the budget for Hasbara by 20. They've set up a whole bunch of new foundations. They were checking out to see what are the FAR regulations and how do we skirt them. If we start paying a bunch of influencers, are they all gonna have to register? What's the deal? Then Pam Bondi comes in and is like, don't worry, I'll just kill that whole task force. It's all gone. Open season. And as soon as that happens, we start to get all these new organizations popping up and all this new money is flooding in and all these new influencers are getting paid and going on trips and getting talking points, right? And Charlie Kirk is right in the middle of all that. And he's in the middle of it as a liaison to the youth of America. And he's seeing how young people feel about the whole thing and is not going too hot.
I can't see who this guy is right here.
And we all know where that led. It led to this text thread on September 8th, 2025. Jewish donors planned all the stereotypes. I cannot and will not be bullied like this, leaving me no choice but to leave the pro-Israel cause. And according to Josh Hammer, I think that the idea is that is him joking around. I think that Josh was trying to claim that he was just kidding. He wasn't being serious. He was just shooting the shit. Because Charlie Kirk totally just not seriously.
Yeah, and at the same breath you're saying I'm thinking about inviting Candace. I mean, get fucking real, dude.
Texts a whole bunch of Jewish donors that are super militant about Israel that will fucking tear you to shreds and pull their funding from you if you say something even remotely like a tenth of that. I'm sure that Charlie just jokingly throws out statements like, no choice but to leave the pro-Israel cause. Totally a joke, Josh, right? So a little placeholder here.
All right, we're going to go for a few more minutes, then I'm going to get off because I want to go spend some time with my girls. I want to get on later tonight, but I just seen where he's getting into now, so let's get into this.
In the middle of the assassination of Charlie Kirk, which we're not going to go into the depth on right now. Oh yeah, one other thing though. It's important to note that Charlie wasn't just sending this text message, which is now confirmed as true, but now we have like 3 sources reporting that they have like a total of 6 sources, so to speak, that Charlie was saying to his close confidants that he was worried that Israel would try to kill him if he turned on them, right? Harrison reported on it a month before.
Yeah, we'll get into that. All right, well, I got to go. My kid's crying because I'm sure something happened with the cat or something. Stupid cat. But anyways, I love you guys. I'm going to get off. I'll see you guys later tonight. Thank you for tuning in. Anyone that's new to the channel and hit subscribe, I appreciate you. God bless you guys. On the road to 10,000 subs, double tap that screen. Anyone in here that doesn't approve of what I think, that's fine. Stay subscribed. Maybe we can come to a common ground. God bless you guys. I'll see you guys in a little bit. And Jesus is king.